It's another edition of Patty and the Millennials. I'm Patty Jackson. We've got some fabulous ladies. I'm the baby boomer. We have Shanine Speaks. We've got Tamara Stewart, Lisa Collins. Kim Reed is our special guest. Yay! We got Chocolate Divinity, LaToya Charleston, and Mina Say What from the Power 99 Morning Show. Woo. Ladies, the questions that we'll pose today.
I can't wait.
Friends and sex. Can you be friends with someone, have sex with them, and go back to being friends? I'm talking about somebody of the opposite sex, and y'all are friends, ride or die. Then you hook up, not for love, it's just sex. Then you got to go back to being friends. Can you do that? Shanine, can that happen?
I think so. However, I do think that you have to realize that there's still going to be somewhat of a stronger bond. It depends on the two individuals. Now, I actually had an experience. You know, one of my friends are my closest friends, and we're still like best buds to this day. You would never know. However, the bond is still there just from things you have shared and just, you know, the opposite parties and you guys laying down. Something is going to change, and you're never going to be able to go back to that. But are you going to be able to remain cool with that person, be friends, and not necessarily have to have a romantic situation with them? I think it's possible.
You do, even if you go on and get married. I mean, life events happen.
Yeah, but see, now you have to understand that boundary is still going to be there. So now I go on and I get married and we best buds, but, you know, I got to respect my husband. You know, we had that situation. So, yeah, you're still going to be a friend, but you're going to kind of be over here for a little bit when, you know, those things happen. I think you just have to have the acknowledgement from both parties. You got to be mature enough to deal with it.
I love the faces that Chocolate Divinity gives us, and I could tell, Toya, that you got a lot to say.
Yeah, like you're not coming to this wedding. Like once you've entered my goddess pleasure zone.
Hello. Yeah.
You cannot come to the wedding. Now, yes, we can still be friends. Yep. Also, you have to know what kind of woman you are, and you need to know what kind of man he is.
Yep.
If he already has emotional behaviors, you might not want to let him enter the goddess zone. But if you are, you know, you're open-minded, he's open-minded, y'all can get back to being friends, but no, you will not be at this wedding. I actually had an ex that asked me that, like, oh, well, I won't be invited to the wedding? Hell no, you won't.
Kim?
I love it.
Kim?
Ladies, you got to play your position. Just got to play your position. It's you know, it's funny because, and I say that, let me quantify what I'm saying here. It is, you got to play your position. I think that sometimes if you're going to have sex with your friend, have sex with your friend. But you also have to think about the future, because what about if you get with a guy, right? You loving him, right? And now this other guy has caught feelings, right? The friend has caught feelings, because men feel some type of way. After, I don't care, friend, they talk about that friend, your man, they all catch feelings. And they feel some type of way when they see you out with someone else and they've already seen the goods. So you're either going to do it, both of y'all play your position, and keep it moving. That's
I love it.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Boom. Okay, Kim. Mina?
I don't think it's possible, and I think people are using the term friend very loosely. If you can't invite your friend to your wedding, that is not your friend. So once you engage in sexual behavior with someone, if your relationship has changed and this is your best bud or best friend, that's not your friend anymore. We need to stop throwing around the word friends. Maybe he's your friend with benefits. We could call him that, but this isn't your bestie where you would confide in him and you was my ride or die. And my real male friends, I have not had sex with them because it will ruin it. You cannot go back to that friendship once you've involved that, because now the relationship morphs. You know what I'm saying? And I think people are using the term friend loosely. That's not your friend anymore. That's your friend with benefits.
We're talking about friends and sex, and can you still be friends afterwards? Patty and the Millennials, a podcast. Tam?
I don't got no more guy friends no more.
Damn, you slept with them all?
two really good guy friends, and looking back at it now, like, I can't sit there and say I have a true organic friendship with them. Like, I can't call them when I'm upset. I can't call them, when I'm going through like life events, because now you're just going to rely on them in a different sense. You're going to rely on them in an emotional space, and then you're going to rely on them, me personally, in a sexual space. And you like to recycle, reuse. So instead of throwing extra body, instead of using extra body, you're going to use one of your friends that you've already had that connection with. Now, also, if it's bad sex, you still not bouncing back from that either. You're not bouncing back from that. If that was your friend and you was like, all right, let me see if I can try this, and the sex was bad.
But how can you even be friends with someone when you've seen their penis? Now you're gonna think about like, oh, he got a needle one. Like, how you gonna be thinking that about your friend now?
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying if you guys were friends and then you decided to take it to the next level, and then you realize like, wow, I messed up. This was a bad decision. You can't bounce back from that, or the friendship can bounce back from that, because there's still going to be that underlying thoughts of like, I really know what it really is and what he's really working with.
Right.
So.
That's like so embarrassing.
I have to say though, and it's not a lot, y'all. Let me say that. But the friends that I have went there with, and now I'm trying to be friends, whether it's an ex. It's always some kind of combustion in the relationship.
It's awkward.
Like, I'm feeling some type of way with your little picture on Facebook. Don't nobody care about you and your little friend. You know what I mean? I'm that girl, right? Because especially if me and you were together for a long period of time, and then you know how sometimes you slide and dip back for a minute. And I didn't play my position. I didn't take my own advice. And then I see your little picture on Facebook. Man Crush Monday. Don't nobody care about your little crush. She is not cute. Right? And I'm feeling some type of way, right?
I block people because of that.
I think that's what
I
happens.
see the new picture, I block.
Yes. So for me, everyone, and I can't do it. So I know that that's just not how I'm going to roll. I'm not going to rock out like that because everyone that I have done that with, I've got some combustion and we're arguing. Why? We're not together.
I got
but
you.
Because it's me.
I got you. I got you.
Because of you. Lise? Ken?
See, here's the thing. There's a whole lot of variables involved in this situation, okay? It depends on the individuals. It depends on where you are in your life, So it in the right situation with the right individuals, it could happen. But there are a whole lot of variables that come into effect. The other thing you got to be concerned about is, the question about, can you invite them to your wedding? See, then it depends on your spouse, your significant other. How do they handle it? Is that man insecure? The other thing is, you got to fess that up. And you can't, that's not something that you can keep a secret.
Right.
You have to fess up. You have to be straightforward with the spouse. The significant other needs to know about that situation. Painful as it may be,
but
you got to do it.
And I was going to say, a lot of us women, like some low-key, we're sneaky. You're not comfortable enough to sit there and tell your husband, like, hey, you have this friend that's been around for a while, y'all cool, this, that, third. Well, what really happened? Like, do you know the whole history? Did you tell him the whole history? They're not going to be able to handle it. The husband,
they have trouble. They have trouble handling it. But I have to tell you, my husband would tell me all these verbatim stories about chicks that he had been with, and then we run into him in situations in public, and I'm like, hey. You that chick. Okay. All right. I got it. So, I mean, like I said, it just depends.
But you got to tell people, I don't know what man is going to be okay with the other man that slept with his girl being at his wedding. That's A.
Yeah.
And B, I don't think it's just a man thing. If the shoe was on the other foot, you don't want the thought that your man slept with at the wedding.
It's funny because I was just watching Soul Food the other day. And this scene at the wedding, this chick is tossing her booty up on your man. And I said, first of all, that she was let in. Who let her in?
Right.
Second of all, that I just married you and you pushing up on this chick. It would have been so on bodies. No, look, folks going out in body bags. You better recognize. Okay?
That's right, Lisa.
Well, as a baby boomer, I personally don't claim things that happened in the 80s.
The whole 80s?
I don't claim nothing in the 80s.
That was 10 years. The whole 10 years?
No, if it happened in the 80s, I'm not claiming it. Right We're dealing in 2017. I'm
Yes.
not.
Yes.
Yes. That's what you do when you're a baby boomer.
Some
See, in the 80s, you were a little baby.
some things-
I'm not claiming it. I'm just not.
Some things happened in the 80s.
Yeah, some things happen in the 80s.
So you slept with your
Oh
friend?
my gosh.
No, just things happen in the 80s.
Oh, okay.
It was the 80s. That's about it. Who suffers heartache more? Is it a man or a woman?
Women.
Who do you think? You think women?
Women. I think
Men.
women.
Men.
Really? I think women.
Men, you know why? Sorry, ladies. Men, you know why?
Why?
Because men never forget stuff. Two quick instances. A guy from college, I hurt his feelings.
Damn, girl, you a heartbreaker.
And my heart's been broken too. But he brought that up on Facebook.
Shut up.
Like
not
a week
Facebook.
ago. Like a week ago.
At all places, Facebook.
Yeah, like a week ago, and we were having a dialogue, a whole lot of people, and I was teasing him about something. Why did I do that? Because he said, "Oh, see, I apologize for my dirt, but you didn't apologize for your dirt in college." I was like, "Oh my God, that was college." And then another guy I dated, he never let it go because we can't even be friends. And it was I was immature. I lived in Connecticut. I came to Philadelphia. I lost my mind the first couple of years because the guys were different. It was a different energy. And I made a lot of mistakes that I do regret, just with friends, just with people's feelings, just because I was in a different space in my life in college. But men, I say all that to say that men, and even with an ex, when we talk about things and where we were trying to work things out, he brought stuff back from the relationship in the first day. I was like, really? I said that? My bad.
So Mina, you think it's women?
I think it's women just because I've seen so many instances where you feel like the man is in a serious, committed relationship and he loves his woman and something happens and he already is moved on to the next one. It happens all the time. I see it. Oh, so-and-so got engaged. Wasn't he just with? But I just think that men just, they resolve their emotions a lot faster than women do from my experience and from what I've seen. Women will harp on certain things and the man would just move on to the next woman. Maybe he hasn't resolved the emotions, but he's already moved on. So he's not sitting in that heartache. Whereas women, I feel like we sit in the heartache sometimes.
See, now that's where I think you're wrong. I think we deal with it. We go through, we throw things, we cry, we break it, whatever. Men want to put it, try to push it under. And so they don't deal with it, and because they don't deal with it, they handle it worse than we do. Like it festers, it lingers longer because they haven't dealt with it. Me, I throw some stuff, knock it over, tell you off, rip up your pictures. I'm good. I'm done, right? But I don't think that men handle it in the same way, so they hold on to it.
They don't forget anything.
No.
They don't. I had a guy throw on my face, you took him to Stevie Wonder. And I was like, so we're bringing Stevie Wonder into this because I went to Stevie Wonder with somebody else.
He was cute, huh? Patty, you was cute. You was jamming.
Wait, what is it with men dealing with their emotions on Facebook? I think that's a topic. You couldn't tell me to my face.
But I think that's it. I think it goes with the conversation that we're having. I think, like Lisa said, women, we hone in on these emotions. We deal with it however we deal. Men, they push it aside so they don't have to, but they literally keep on exercising actions to prevent the feeling of hurt. They keep on pushing everything off, and we'll vent a little bit on Facebook, or we'll get that chick real quick just to cover up and null the pain. But I don't think that they actually deal with it the same way women do, which is why it's going to hurt them longer in the long run.
And another thing, men have a tendency to carry it on into the next relationships. Usually once they've been hurt. I had a dude tell me, I said, "Oh, you ever been in love?" "Yeah, in middle school. And she broke my heart." We 25 years old. Are you really sitting here talking about some middle school stuff? Is this happening right now? They are definitely the more emotional ones.
Yeah.
I'll break a dish. If you give me that, man, I might key a car. But after the first couple of months, we good. We back, baby.
Okay. This is Patty and the Millennials. We have very interesting conversation talking about friends and sex and who handles heartache more. I'm Patty Jackson, the baby boomer. Shanine, Tamara, Lisa, Kim Reed, thank you for joining us. LaToya Charleston, Mina, say what? You can find us at WDASFM.com. Download the iHeartRadio app. It's free, and you can also find us on iTunes. It's free there as well.